Artists rarely, if ever, have live versions of their music, and I'm here to share why they should. What's up, everybody? My name is Shantoria. Welcome to the video, and I pray you all are doing well. I'm sure many of you have noticed, like myself, the uptick in artists doing live performance videos ever since 2020, and I must say there have been some great performances. For example, I love Ariana Grande's performance of POV for Vivo. She did such a great job, such great vocals. Honestly, if I could add that to my library, I would be playing that version way more than the original recording. And I cannot tell you my disappointment. I cannot express to you how disappointed I was when I realized that the Yours Truly, the 10-year anniversary for Yours Truly, was not a fully live version of the original project. And you know, I can understand, considering that she is preparing to release a whole new wave of music, introducing a whole new era, if you will. That's what we call it. So I can understand if doing a fully live version of a 10-year-old album is not high on my priority list. I just feel like the other half of the music that she decided not to do was done dirty, and you know, Loving It would have sounded really great orchestrally. I'm just saying. Loving it, baby. Oh, you got all my time. Or even piano with all those extra instruments. Let me stop. I really wanted it, y'all. Plus, she did release a live album of her Sweetener World Tour, and trust me, I have been playing a lot of those songs, so... Ariana also released a concert film for the Sweetener Tour. I watched it with my cousins. They loved it. I loved it. It's available on Netflix. I also was able to go to one of the shows in person, and it kind of affected my hearing, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So grab a snack, subscribe, and let's get some background on live albums. So because of the recording technology and methods of the 1960s, it's really hard to tell the difference between a live and studio recording. I listened to a song from Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong's album together, which, by the way, highly recommend you go check out. The project was released in 1956, and when I tell you, it sounded like Louis and Ella just walked up to the mic like they were... And na 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 na. Like, I'm telling, it just sounded so beautiful. I'm telling you, the ambiance was just so great. Like, I felt like it was just super immersive, and I'm pretty sure that part was because of the technology today, trying to make it for, I guess, streaming services into that digital audio wave file. I also feel like if recordings have a lot of reverb from whether it is the lead vocal, the background vocals, or the instrumentations or the instruments, you know, it's gonna sound live, especially when there is fans in the audience and you can hear them in the recording as well. Even artists not singing some of the lyrics. Now, it's alleged that the first live album was recorded in 1938 at the Carnegie Hall. By who? The article did not say, but I'm pretty sure it was Benny Goodman, because he recorded an album around that time, and it also was at the same venue. The best-selling live album is Garth Brooks' Double Live, selling 14 million copies according to Billboard. However, I read in other places that Eric Clapton's Unplugged sold 26 million worldwide, so I don't know how they missed that. So I guess we'll say that Garth Brooks has the best-selling country live album, and Eric Clapton has the best-selling rock live album. Since the introduction of the Billboard 200 in 1967, there has only been 21 live albums that have went number one. The most recent being Kenny Chesney's Live in No Shoes Nation in 2017. The Beach Boys concert, Stevie Wonder's recorded live The 12-Year-Old Genius, Judy Garland's Judy at Carnegie Hall, and Benny Goodman's 1937 to 1938 Jazz Concert No. 2 are live albums that have topped the Billboard 200 chart before it became a list of 200. For the official albums chart, the most recent to debut at number 1 was former Oasis lead vocalist Liam Gallagher's MTV Unplugged performance from 2019. The Red Hot Chili Peppers Live in Hyde Park from 2004 also topped the chart, being recorded at 3 London shows, setting the record for the highest grossing concerts at a single venue in history. And just for additional information, in the UK, the first #1 live album was 1970's Get Your Ya-Ya's Out by... I'm sorry, I'm from Texas, and I can't pass up the opportunity to sound country, so I'm gonna try to say this without laughing. Okay, here we go. In the UK, the first #1 live album was... In the UK... In the UK, the first #1 live album was 1970's Get Your Ya-Ya's Out by the Rolling Stones. Now, I know the artists that I mentioned are considered legendary legacy artists, and that is because of their dedication to their craft, their strong branding, as well as their ability to create music that connects to many generations, a very large range of demographics. And for the same reasons one would go see a concert film or purchase a live streaming ticket, price and accessibility is why fans would happily purchase a live album. Now, I don't recall seeing any live albums in stores by current artists today, nor have I heard them promoting it either. But you know, vinyls have had a resurgence in popularity, and if the reception for the performance was great, why not release it both digitally and physically? And you know, that makes me wonder if CDs will ever make a comeback, because the girl is ready. Your girl is ready. BTR for the win. I feel like because we consume so much content in this digital age that we expect artists to be releasing music at the same rate as content creators on TikTok and Instagram. But I will say that in the 50s and 60s, even up into the 80s, artists were dropping music left and right. But that's a topic for another video. So that brings me to the question, why should artists release a live album?
I'm going to kind of take you through just my process and just kind of inside my world of making this music.
So the clip that you just saw was from Camila Cabello's new Music Daily performance on Apple Music, available to watch on Apple Music. And it was Camila's first performance of her then new music from her album Romance. And she explains before and in between each song the meaning behind them, as well as the process of creating them. Pulling a little Taylor Swift there. Camila did not include the explanations in the album, but it did help paint the moment in time for each song. And I must say, the arrangement for Liar was so freaking good. Oh my gosh. The band was really getting into it. The vocalists were having a good time. Camila's vocals were just amazing. I only listen to the live version of this song now. No more studio recorded. It falls flat now to me. There's no pizzazz, no sprinkle in it like the live version. By the way, I highly recommend you watch it. It's so good. Even just listening to it. This is about live albums. You just listen. There's no watching. You just listen. But for real though, I do highly recommend you all watch the full performance on Apple Music if you're able to. It's so good. Which is why different / live arrangements are my first reason. And I cannot tell you how crunk I would get if Becky G released her solo version of Cuando Te Besé. I would happily take a live version over a studio any day because Becky has such great stage presence. I would be able to just hear it in the music. Like the studio persona is different from when you're physically on stage because the fans are hyping you up, they're screaming, they're singing along, and also it just makes the recording feel more lively, like you're actually there.
Where is the album? We need the damn album.
If they're gonna take a long break in between projects, a live album is a great option to just drop for the time being. Now, I know long gaps can create anticipation for the project. If Rihanna just decides to be like Beyonce and just drop an album on people instantly, the internet will be broken. Same with Normani. And the long breaks can be because of controversy. You know, think about Justin Bieber and his album Believe, the time between Believe and his album Purpose, which, by the way, I just want to say he did release journals in that between those two albums. I love that album. Now, there is a particular artist on there that we won't name that is on it, but we're not going to let that singular artist destroy the magnifique, the gorgeous art that is Journals. Journals was released in 2013, and it's a great album. And also thinking about Taylor Swift with the controversy between her, Kanye, and Kim, that was a huge catalyst for her Reputation era, and honestly, it propelled her into a bigger form of stardom, if that was even possible for Taylor Swift. Now, I will say the artists I have mentioned do have large and loyal fan bases, so that is something to keep in mind. And I feel like the longer an artist waits to drop a project, the more weight and anxiousness I'm sure they feel about that project, because it has to hit this top tier quota that, you know, their fans are anticipating because of the long wait. And having a large and loyal fan base like a Justin Bieber, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Rihanna is very important to that long wait, because if you don't have that large and loyal of a fan base, they will lose interest and no one will be paying attention to your music anymore the moment you decide to release it, and that will lead to your label possibly dropping you or having you pull a Kardashian and doing something controversial to get the attention back again. Or they might do something typical like having you collaborate with an artist that is topping the charts at the moment. Artists also have gone the route of dropping singles throughout the year or years, and more content means more projects to generate streams of revenue. And that only makes me wonder how much Ariana made in that first quarter after releasing K. Bye for now. That's how I imagine her saying it. I feel like artists should release a live album because it allows fans to live in a moment, to feel like they're actually experiencing the concert in real time. Even for fans who have gone to the concert, you know, it's a memory, it's a replay of what they got to experience. I love listening to the live version of Every Time by Ariana, because I remember being at the concert and hearing her sing that high note in real time. And I also love Breathin', Needy, Good Night and Go, top tier. Highly recommend you listen to it. And really, I only listen to the live version of those songs now, really. I mean, yeah, there's some days when I would possibly listen to the original, but, you know, there's nothing like the live recording. Just, there's something magical about it. That little sprinkle, that little sauce. Salt Bae. Salt Bae. What is it? That little, I can't do it. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. I say this because I just love live performances. You know, it takes away the unrealistic side of the studio version because you don't expect to hear a flat note. And when in person, you expect to hear the different inflections and pitch. You know, it's human. And like many others, I learned to sing through listening and watching artists perform, and how discouraging is it whenever you don't hear a slightly off pitch note. Well, that part is more of a mental game. And you know, once you grow more confident in your own abilities and in yourself as a person, then watching those same performances back, you hear it differently than you do the first time, or those first few times. They even have pitch correction in the microphones now, so not every live performance is 100% live. And some artists even pre-record their vocals before their performances because they're going to be dancing around a lot and they're going to be lip syncing their song, which is fine. You know, it's a performance. You know, being entertaining physically is also part of the show too. But hey, you know, if they're only, you know, but I'm just thinking of Mariah Carey, and you know, it's just like, if vocals is all you got, it's all you got, and that's okay. I love Mariah, okay? I love Mariah. I just find it funny to see her just standing there, like, while her dancers are doing the most around her. There's nothing wrong with pre-recorded vocals, by the way. I just wanted to mention it because I am talking about live recordings. Also, there's nothing wrong with standing there and being cute while your dancers are moving around you. Well, you all let me know your thoughts about live albums, and if you would like the artists of today to release one or more. Like, imagine if Sabrina Carpenter decided to release a live album of her most recent project, Emails I Can't Send, and she included every alternate ending for Nonsense. That would be so funny, and a very long track, and I would listen to every single one of those alternate endings. But check out this video right here of concert films and live stream concerts, either one. They're also in the same playlist, so I'll possibly put one video here in the playlist here. Check them both out. You all have a blessed rest of your day and have an awesome rest of your week. Peace out.